Okay, here you go, my most requested timeline of all time. I get about 3 comments a week asking for this one, and it's the Hayride movies. People just can't hide how much they want this one, and I figured it was about time that yeah, I know, you didn't ask for this one. You were requesting the Maniac Cop timeline again. Geez, I keep on doing this. I don't know how I keep getting that all mixed up. I think it's because they both feature kids being killed at a haunted house after going on a hayride. And what? Maniac Cop doesn't include that at all? I mean, you're sure about that? Oh well, anyway, the Hayride mini timeline. The ride begins back in 2012 with Hayride, and it begins with a murderer being arrested who has killed at least 6 people, and he's locked up. And Steven and his girlfriend are on break from school, and his uncle does a haunted hayride and tells of a character that they use named Pitchfork. Our killer manages to escape during a transfer, and that uncle is none other than Buddy freaking Revell. And there's 2 characters whose names are beautiful and dumb. Turns out that they based Pitchfork on a real guy named Rayborn, a farmer who was super protective of his daughter, so she ran away with her boyfriend, which sent him over the edge, and he started killing people, donning what's basically a Jason/sundown dreading sack. And Richard Tyson takes acting tips from Tommy Wiseau by just carrying and tapping a football wherever he goes for a while. The opening night arrives and the haunted hayride begins, and there's also a haunted house attached, and Pitchfork starts showing up and killing. But the police tell his backstory, and this cop says that when he was in high school, kids went missing, and that had to be about 30 years ago, so it's pretty apparent that the guy from the cop car is not actually Pitchfork, but honestly it's kind of hard to tell. There's been a killer, flashbacks to one story, details about another. I'm not sure who's the threat here or what's going on really. Oh, and this isn't something that really matters, but it was something that was really noticeable to me. But all of the audio in this film appears to be post-dubbed.
I mean, she's hotter than you.
She's supposed to be hotter than me, dumbass.
No, I mean like the girl you. Like, if you were a girl, there is no way you'd be that hot.
I'd be crazy hot as a girl.
I don't know if it's because the on-set sound wasn't usable or if they didn't have the budget for proper live audio, so this is the route that they went. But there's times where it's like an episode of Kung Fu Theater. The audience, of course, thinks it's all part of the act until he attacks them too and chainsaws Captain Morgan. Steven ends up fighting Pitchfork and they manage to knock him onto his own weapon, killing him. There's also a license plate that seems like it could be green stickers, which was Alabama's colors for 2010. So that could be our year, but it's hard to tell since the plate is out of focus. But the ending reveals Pitchfork to not be the killer that escaped from the car, revealing that the guy was killed by Rayborn, who is still searching for his daughter. And they kind of insinuate that it's Amanda, and man, am I unsure of the whole time frame of this legend. Because if the killings were while the cop was a high school student, were a crazed Pitchfork, that would make his daughter in her 40s or so, but they say that he's still alive. So, of course, 3 years later, in 2015, Hayride 2 happened, and it picks up immediately after the last one left off, with the 2 detectives returning. And I guess I should point out that this guy's name is Detective Loomis, and that other guy talks about being a teenager again, and being afraid of Pitchfork. But of course, Rayborn wakes up and attacks. And then, oh boy, well, I guess if you don't know any Latino actors, or are just too lazy to find one, which you'd have to be considering there's tons of them, instead you can just hire this guy.
It's a time to remember those that we've lost, the ones who have gone on before us.
David Freilich, and have him play a character who is supposed to be Mexican. Now, I can't say for certain if Freilich is Latin, and it's possible he may be partially so, but that doesn't matter because they threw him into brownface and darkened his skin tone, gave him a terrible fake beard, and this ridiculous cartoon accent.
It's a celebration of a passing soul, and to remind us that life is just a dream.
Steven, Amanda, and Corey are all back as well, and she's pregnant, and there's a TV commercial for the Hayride that says that Friday is the 30th, and Saturday is the 31st, and it's Halloween, and those dates landed in that way in either 09 or 15, so it's looking like it's probably 2015, so that would be when both films would be set. Pitchfork attacks the hospital looking for Amanda because, let's see, it's a part 2. We have a character named Loomis, and our movie starts with the letter H. Yep, we're gonna have the killer attack a hospital. He kidnaps Amanda, and Loomis gets a hold of his file, and there's an association with the Klan. Officer Jordan talks about an incident 12 years ago, and the report seems to show a date of 07, so they're saying it's 2019 here. Although it's possible that that report is something different, but it seems like that's what they're saying it is. So I guess this is 2019. It's the closest we've seen to a physical date so far, so I guess that's what we'll go with. They track the big guy down and face off against him, and this guy, who no one has been able to take out for the entire movie, now takes one kick to the knee, and he's now useless. Corey shoots him, and even though they've already seen this guy survive multiple stabbings and attacks, they just figure, he must be dead, and leave. They then flash ahead several years, like 3 or 4 based on Steven's daughter's age, and it looks like Rayborn is still alive. So there you have it. It's just 2 movies. That's it. 2 movies that actually have a fairly competent timeline. They just flow one right into the other and take place over a short period of time. If you watch these ones back to back, they make sense. The date of when they're set doesn't quite make sense, but in terms of their continuity between each other, it makes sense. And these are fine. They're kind of cheap and kind of same old and don't make a lot of sense, but they're fine. I mean, you won't be mad if you watch these. I wasn't. If you've seen these or heard of these or like them or don't like them, tell me down below in the comments. I want to hear what you have to think about the Hayride movies, and just this video in general. Let me know. Also, if you enjoyed it, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, if you enjoy the channel, and also please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines, and you can help support this channel like these guys do. If not, you can just keep on coming back and watching these videos. I sure appreciate that, and I'll see you very shortly for another great one. Thanks a lot, guys, and bye-bye.